Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Tuesday. That means we live stream from the car on Tuesdays. Because why not? That's the cool thing to do nowadays. It's the cool thing to do on Tuesdays, apparently. Anyway, I hope you're doing all wonderful and amazing. All those fun things. Everything I always say, every time we do one of these live stream things. Today, we are not talking about anything specific other than whatever you guys want to talk about. What's new with y'all? Is the chat not working or what? Let me check some things. Oh, what's up, Wesley? Oh, the chat is like totally delayed on my end, I guess. What's going on, Ty? Haroon, is AWS a good company to work for? What are your thoughts? I mean, you hear good things, you hear bad things, but I feel like that's every organization. You're always going to hear good things and bad things. Depends on the people, depends on who you work for in the organization, what you're doing, how much you actually enjoy it. But Duan Lightfoot, he works for Amazon and he enjoys it. He likes it. So does Cloud Bart. So, it depends. What do I think about GRC? I think somebody I know just released a course on that, didn't they? Wesley, you just need a real entry-level position to get into the field, please. Okay, so is that what question about that? Like, do you need help with that? What's the problems? What's going on, Paul? Red Wing Blackbird, what up? Benjamin, how you doing? Good evening. It is, yeah, it's almost evening. It's getting there. Connor Sermons, what's up? You currently have an interview for a sysadmin position. You have Active Directory experience at your current job. I was wondering, what would your suggestion be to study for the interview? Thank you for my advice. Best suggestion that I have for studying for the interview would be to look at their job description and look at the things that they're asking for. Like, what are the technologies that they're highlighting in that job description, and start looking at those very heavily. If anything, just start learning some of the fundamentals of those technologies if you don't know them. But definitely that job description is going to give you a pretty good idea of the technologies that they're utilizing. So you'll know from that, like, generally, that's what you should have a good understanding of. And again, even if that's some of the fundamentals on some of that stuff. So study that. And then you might be able to do like a little bit of OSINT too, and to the organization and some of the other technologies that they utilize, and go from there. And Paul, love my jokes, by the way, on the videos. Which jokes? Because I love to throw in jokes from time to time. Do most remote jobs require you to do it from the U.S., or can you do it from overseas as a digital nomad? I mean, some of the remote jobs are going to require that you be like a U.S. citizen, but if it's remote, you could potentially work overseas. So that would be probably one of the biggest stipulations that you have to pay attention to. Car streams, let's go. What's up? Kev runs on Duncan. How you doing, boss? It's good to see you. Wesley, you need a helping stool getting into the field, so start looking up help desk jobs. Any type of entry level, like help desk, technician type of positions, start applying for them. That's the way to go. No questions, but great studio, and I love the studio. This is the best backdrop ever. It's gonna go far. I'm gonna have to take a picture of this, and then when I'm actually like at home from the studio, throw up the green screen, and then this could just be the background even when I'm at home. That totally best studio ever. Which is the best certification to start for IT, just in general? Like the A+. Always CompTIA A+. Did my PS5 ever show up? It sure did, and I've been playing the heck out of Gran Turismo 7. I bought a steering wheel and set up like a kit for the steering wheel, and I've been playing a bunch of Elden Ring. It's been like nonstop between like Elden Ring and Gran Turismo 7, because oh my gosh, both of those games look freaking phenomenal. I just cannot get over how amazing those games look. Technology has come a very, very long way. Tech One, hey Zach, I've been thinking about applying for the NSA, but worry about your politics might be a problem. Should you apply anyway? I mean, I would apply anyway. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no. How does a tortilla chip sneeze, not chew? I like it. Or nacho? Would it be nacho? Red Wing Blackbird. Should you just take the CompTIA A+, then just take whatever job you can get, just jump in, so to speak? Yes, 100%. For sure. I am all on board with that. Paul, you like the last video you saw of the interview where I looked like a girl or something with the long hair and asked for 8 years of experience? Another one, have you restarted the computer? Hello, help desk. Have you restarted it? Yeah. The help desk series, man, I love those videos for sure. Like, that was an opportunity for me to just be a complete goofball, and I enjoyed every second of it. I think my favorite one, and one like my kids even, my kids will even be like, Dad, can you put on that video where you throw the computer at the wall? I'm like, yeah, I put that on for you. They laugh every time. Every time I put that on video. Like, why did you break that computer? Every time, I'm like, it was broken already. Like, it was already broken. It was useless. So I threw it. Didn't hurt nothing. It was already broke. Yes, I love the help desk series for sure. How relevant is ITIL for system administrators? I mean, some companies might really appreciate that you have that at just a learning level. I think ITIL is probably great for anybody in technology to have. Like, that's another one of those things. Yeah, because there's just a lot of fundamentals there. There's a lot of great things to learn there. Yeah, see, and Kev Runs on Duggan says, ITIL is just a way of doing things. Some companies follow it very strictly, so it can be useful, but won't always be everywhere. No, it won't always be everywhere. I think it's only a good thing to learn because it just helps you kind of understand in some way, and it gives you some type of foundation ahead of time on how some things are done and accomplished, you know, as far as protocols and all that go. Personally, I hate that song. Sorry, I gotta switch that song. How do you get lean AF, bro? Looking good. Thank you. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've gone over that so many times. I actually will have something coming out on that soon. I think we'll see. Wesley bought a PS5 and then sold all of it for $900. So funny enough, hang on before I get to this one. I actually Walmart did a drop yesterday on the Walmart Plus, and I was able to actually buy another PS5. So now I have a second PS5, but that's for a friend. So I unfortunately don't get the profit off of it, although I really would have loved to, but that's my best friend, and I can't do my best friend dirty like that. Like, that would be such a shame. But I feel very bad. I feel terrible about it. But I feel you. I actually bought the PS5. Here, I'm going to highlight this because we're talking about it. I bought the PS5 initially because I was like, all right, this is going to be really cool for all of about 2 days. And then I'm going to just get absolutely tired of it because I'm not big into games. Like, I don't like games very much at all. But I'm like hooked on this PS5. Like, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I'll be selling it anytime soon. Anyway. Kevin, what are some good companies that you could recommend starting out in the IT field? Any company that will hire you legitimately. Like, just look up help desk jobs and start applying for help desk jobs. Like, yeah. MSPs are going to be potentially a good starting point. Maybe school districts. Man, there's just so many. You just have to find any type of job that's hiring, and you have to take your chances. What are good resources to use for the Linux Plus? Probably IT Pro TV. They'd be a good starting point. They are paid, but if you use the coupon code ITCQ30, you save 30%. Shameless self-promotion right there. Sorry. Other than that, there's other learning platforms out there. I'm sure there's YouTube videos out there that cover the Linux Plus. But I'm sure like CBT Nuggets or like Pluralsight. And I only say say Pluralsight because Pluralsight acquired like a Cloud Guru and Linux Academy. Otherwise, I would have told you like Linux Academy would have been a great choice. Yeah, that's it. That's all I would recommend. I mean, there's plenty out there. Just use all the resources that you can find that are free. Exhaust all of those before you go for a paid resource. John Gibson, thank you for the session. You're welcome. You're sitting your AZ 900 this Thursday and your AZ 104 in 3 weeks. You are an inspiration. Good luck to you, brother. I wish you nothing but the best. Seriously, good luck. Devon Smith, if you are in help desk and feel called to networking, should you feel bad if you're not quite grasping advanced systems concepts? Yeah, like I guess like what kind of advanced systems concepts are you referring to? But like, no, if you are in help desk, which is like, this is a great question and it's great for everybody to see this question and get this response from me. So everybody that's here is great for you to learn because this is perfect. This is a perfect example of why I say help desk is a great starting point for you. Because when you're working the help desk, you get to identify the different things that you enjoy, like the different bits and pieces of technology that you just enjoy. And you're highlighting networking. You're like, man, I think networking is more interesting. I don't really dig, the sysadmin side of things, but this networking thing, like that's for me. And if that's for you, like that's what you need to gravitate to. And that is totally okay. Like any type of the other, advanced systems concepts that you're probably referring to, like you'll learn along the way. But like getting in help desk right now, it's great. You're getting experience. Start reaching out to your networking team and tell them that you're interested in networking. Excuse me. See if there's ways that you could shadow them. Like this is the perfect opportunity for you to start taking those next stepping stones. So yeah, you don't have to worry about learning like so much of the sysadmin side of things. Like that stuff can come over time. But like if you're in help desk now and you have an interest for networking, start making those steps. Start learning like your CCNA if you haven't yet. And then, like I said, start job shadowing some of your current network admins or network engineers. See if there's anything you can help them with. It's a great opportunity for you. Good luck to you. Seriously. Here's the like Linux Plus, just lab, YouTube, blogs. Only way to learn Linux is to use Linux. For sure. 100%. So as you're learning Linux, make sure that you have like VirtualBox spun up or like VM Workstation or whatever. And like just follow along the best that you can. Besides Cisco Packet Tracer, what other software would I recommend to practice for the CCNA? There's GNS3 or something. I think that's probably still around. But I mean, as far as like virtualizing things, Packet Tracer will be your best bet. There are like other virtual labs out there that exist, like IT Pro TV that I mentioned before. They have like hands-on like practice labs through a company called Practice Labs. Wait, they're all one company now because they all got bought out. Sorry, another story. Anyway, crazy happy for all of them. But yeah, Practice Labs, like you get access to them through IT Pro TV material. So you can follow along with their virtual labs also, which is different from Packet Tracer. What are my thoughts of starting your IT career at mid-size MSP? I think starting out anywhere is a fantastic idea. Honestly, I don't think like one thing is better than another, like necessarily. I guess maybe that's a lie. It depends on what your end goal is to give you like the best answer. But anywhere that's going to hire you, any way that you can start building experience is going to just help you get to wherever you want to be. Experience is the most important thing. So as long as you can get your foot in the door, like the possibilities are endless after this. And I mean that with like all of my heart. Like seriously, like I cannot stress enough how important this statement is. How long should people stay in an entry-level job? Looks like a job hopper versus a better salary. I mean, in the IT field, I said this like many years ago now at this point, like at least 6-7 years ago, like, and I even said it more frequently, but like 2 to 4 years is usually like that stepping stone in IT. You see like a lot of people like making transition in those 2 to 4 years. It feels like I see it a lot more frequently now. Not that that necessarily is a bad thing, although some companies will look at that as a bad thing. It just really depends on like how much like of a drive that you have. How much information can you learn in a short amount of time and apply that to something that people can actually see like results from. So if you're even in like a position for less than a year, like what did you actually do in that position? And maybe like what certifications do you have to help kind of boost just who you are as an individual? Like I'm at a loss for the word that I want to use right now, but I hope that makes sense, right? The point is that to answer your question really is it varies. It varies from person to person. It really, truly does. Because some people, and not that there's anything wrong with this, and please don't take it this way. Some people might sit in the help desk for 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they are able to make that next transition. And it's not because, they're not skilled at their job or anything like that. It's just because some people just take a little bit longer to gain a grasp on things, right? To learn things, to really just fully understand. And that's okay. There's literally nothing wrong with that. And some people might find like they enjoy entry-level jobs. I worked with a dude who was like 48 years old and he worked a help desk job. It was like a level 1 tech job, probably at most. And he did that basically his entire life. And he was content with that. Like he was happy with that. He probably made like $50,000 a year. That's all he needed. He was a single guy. He wasn't married, like didn't have any kids. Like that was okay with him. There's other people out there who like, in a year, they don't even want to work in help desk, first of all, but in a year, like they are striving and driving and doing everything that they possibly can to get to that next level. And a lot of people can do it. A lot of people can't. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I just have to like stress that so much. There's like lots of questions that I'm going to miss because I have to scroll down to the super chat. So I apologize if I missed your question. But I got to give like super chats a priority because, dollars, right? Not that I'm encouraging it. Please don't think that I'm encouraging it by any means. Kyle Sessions, thank you for the super chat, first of all. Hey, Zach, you currently hold your A+ and Net+, and you're interested in the network cloud engineering. Should you get your Security Plus or go straight for the CCNA? I would go straight for the CCNA if you're interested in networking. Like if your main interest is in networking, definitely go for your CCNA. The Security Plus, like that can come along the way, but like if your main interest, is networking, then CCNA would be a great starting point. But I still think the Security Plus is a great certification to have. I mean, I really do. But as far as like marketability and just overall knowledge, and if that's your interest, then CCNA, like hands down. And then if it's cloud, I would probably maybe even hold off. I mean, I don't know. Do you have any experience yet? Are you working yet in the field? If you're not working yet in the field, I'm still just going to tell you, like, plain and simple, just go for the CCNA. It's going to help you out the most. Just marketability wise. Can't say that word today. I don't know why. All right, I'm going to scroll back up as far as I can to get to some chats. But I remember the classic WoW AMAs. Yeah, those are fun. Classic WoW was fun for about 10 minutes. That's about it. Do you have to deal with students a lot if you work in IT for a school district? In all of the years that I worked IT in a school district, which was quite a few, I've probably interacted with students, maybe, I don't know, like really directly, like a handful of times, or maybe a couple handful of times. One of the most memorable experiences I have working in IT was in a school district when like some kid came up and hugged me because I fixed the projector in the room. Like I fixed the laptop and the projector so that they could watch like whatever the heck it was that they were trying to watch. But this kid like literally hugged me because it made their day. And like the teacher pulled me aside and she was like, yeah, this kid like literally looks forward to this every single time we do it. Like, and then like the teacher was like, they have like this rough home life and like started going into all this other stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, overload right now. but like that had an impact on me. Like that truly impacted me after the fact, because like I was just like going in fixing the projector, which I was probably super annoyed with because that's what I did. And especially like in an IT job, like you're gonna find if they use projectors and laptops, a lot of your job will be troubleshooting and fixing that stuff. Because for whatever reason, even though they do it like almost every single day, it doesn't do exactly what they needed to do. Whatever. If you've ever worked in a school district, you understand exactly what I'm saying. It's a pain. Anyway, yeah, that was the most memorable experience I had. Like one of the most memorable experiences I had working in IT. So interacting with students, yes, sometimes. And it could be an amazing experience. Cybersecurity for entry level, yes, no. I don't recommend it. I really don't. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be like some gatekeeper or anything like that, but I just don't recommend cybersecurity for entry level. There's so much to learn, and not that you can't learn it. I just think that it'd be so much more beneficial for you to have like some fundamentals of just IT and the landscape in general of IT before you jump into cybersecurity. And people would be like, "You're gatekeeping, blah 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 blah," and I'm really not. I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Like if that's how it sounds, like, so be it. But really, it's just like, please, like, have some fundamental knowledge of IT somewhere at some level, please. Justin Hayward, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I really do. Delhi, you're currently about to graduate high school and going to community college. There's a certificate for IT, but no bachelor's for IT. What should you do? So is it an associate's for IT? Because if it's an associate's, like, that's fine. Not every single IT job is going to require a degree. Like, you do not have to have a degree to work in IT. That is not a hard requirement. Some jobs have a hard requirement. So if like there's a specific job that you want to work at, like a specific company where you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do everything that I can to work for that company, or other companies like it and they require a degree, then yeah, get a degree. If you want to work in any type of management position, then you'll often find that having a degree is going to be helpful and beneficial for you. Sorry, my phone's going off. I'm checking things. Got motorcycles driving by. It's a super nice day. R. Kelly, thank you. Please don't. Never mind. Not going to make I will not make the bad joke. But thank you. Click the wrong one. Wesley, you love IT Pro TV and Package Racer. I love IT Pro TV too. If already in help desk, is CCNA a good cert to go for? End goal is Azure Engineer. I mean, the CCNA is always a great certification to have. I feel like, just again, because the marketability of it, like I can't, I'm sorry. Like I have to look at it at that standpoint nowadays because it's so important to get yourself noticed, right? But not necessarily. I would go after cloud certs, honestly. Like if that's like your end goal is to be in the cloud, like I would start going after cloud certs. And then if you find that you want to be in more of like the cloud networking, then like the CCNA would be useful for you. Those are my thoughts, and I'm sticking to them. If I missed your questions, I apologize. Are there any entry-level cloud computing jobs? It's going to be one of those things like with like people with cybersecurity, when they post like an entry-level cybersecurity job, but they require experience. It's just like some of these people like want you to have some type of fundamental experience before you come knocking on their door in that specific side of the industry. Cloud is like another one of those things. Like, what is the cloud even? Like, for so many people, it's just like this, I mean, like ridiculous, just like fancy word, right? And it's just not. Like the cloud is so many things. So it's not easy for everybody to pick up and understand exactly what the cloud is, because literally the cloud entails servers and desktops and networking, like switches, and so many things that are essentially virtualized in a data center somewhere, right? Like you still have to have a fundamental understanding of like what virtualization is and what a server is and what like like desktop is like infrastructure or whatever, right? Like there's things to understand about that, right? It's just one of those frustrating things because so many people try to like glamorize the cloud as some type of thing that's like this barrier to entry of IT, which for some people, yeah, it very well could be, but you have to have like a certain set of like experiences or skill set that can really make that like a valuable kind of or like a a proper choice, right? But like cloud is just another one of those things. Like get the fundamentals, man. Like have and understand fundamentals. People probably won't agree with that. I think a lot more people will agree with that than the people that won't agree with that. What's up, brother? It is good to see you. But hopefully that makes sense, what I said. So I happen to know of any resources for digital forensics. I do not. I'm sorry. I know that there's stuff out there. So if anybody has a suggestion for this person here, throw it in the chat. Yeah. See, this person says understanding networking will go well with the cloud, especially working with VPC. Yeah, there's so many different bits and pieces to the cloud. It's not just like this one thing. Like the cloud is not just a singular thing. The cloud is everything now. It's literally everything. Everything is in the cloud. From your networking switches to your desktop computers to your servers to all of your applications. Like everything is in the cloud. So to work in the cloud, to work with the cloud, like you should probably understand like everything that exists in the cloud, right? Does that make sense? Like I'm trying to make this like as simple as I possibly can. What are the best certifications to get into cybersecurity? Probably TCM Security Practical Network Penetration Tester certification. It's a shameless self-plug right there also. But also CompTIA Security Plus. Like those are great certifications. I mean, CompTIA Security Plus, I can't even talk. CompTIA Security Plus is a great fundamental certification to have. It's just a great starting point. You don't necessarily have to go get that certification, but just learning and understanding the fundamentals of it, I think are very helpful. But then just like understanding like what part of cybersecurity do you actually want to work in? Because cybersecurity is another one of those things where it's just not like the cloud. It's a very glamorized word, right? But cybersecurity, there's so many things in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is more than just like it's like it's a subset and a subset and a subset and a subset and 8,000 other subsets, right? Like cybersecurity is pen testing, and like you got red teaming, blue teaming, purple teaming, you got threat analysts, you got SOC analysts, you got the list goes on, really, right? Like I could just probably sit here for an hour and spit off like job titles in cybersecurity or different areas in cybersecurity. What is it that you actually want to do in cybersecurity? And then I could tell you, hey, these are probably the best certifications to go after. Even a data center tech could translate to cloud experience. Yeah, for sure. If you are not only service like teching within that center, which is i.e. getting hands-on physical with probably swapping out servers and different things like that, probably have some type of experience within Azure or AWS, or I don't know if you ever use Google Cloud Platform. I don't even know that. Does that still exist? I don't even know. Couldn't tell you. It's A plus, Net plus, Security plus, CCNA. Whoo. Okay, all of those certifications, are those good to be recognized for a cybersecurity job? Do you have experience working in IT? Because it's an immediate red flag to me and a lot of other hiring managers. If you have all of those certifications and no experience, like huge red flag. A lot of people will not look highly at that. Some people will, don't get me wrong, Some people will. They'll look at you and be like, oh my gosh, you have all these certifications. You probably know exactly what you're doing. But if you don't have actual experience working in the field, all of those certifications, they're not always going to hold all of their weight. You look like a certification chaser. Like there's many other things that you probably look like with that I won't go into. Not necessarily bad. I'm not saying anything bad about you or any other people that do that. There's just like red flags that people look at with that stuff. Get experience. On average, how long would I say it would take for a newbie to master entry-level IT job with no experience, but is a fast learner? It depends on everybody. Everybody is so different. Like, and every environment is so completely different from one another. So it's like, man, like I love seeing people who make transitions in like the first couple of years from like a help desk role to maybe even like another type of help desk role, or just like another step above or a couple steps above, but doing something very similar, just in a different environment, just so you can understand how other environments operate. Like it's just so important. And when I say this, I just want to break this down. Like you can have two businesses that by the looks of it, right, are completely like identical, right? Like let's just say you have one company that sells tires and you have another company. So company A sells tires, company B sells tires. They have all of the same equipment, right? Like they use all of the same types of computers even. But the way that they implement their technology and implement their policies, procedures, and things like that could be so completely different from one another. So like just having like a good understanding of how different organizations operate from that policy level, from just the operations standpoint, like that is huge for your experience. So I just want to throw that out there just so you guys like understand. But going back to like more specifically your question, like everybody's different and everybody just learns at a different rate. So it's just so hard to say. If you're a fast learner, like that's great, but what's a fast, like, could I compare you as a fast learner to somebody else that says they're a fast learner? And who's really a fast learner, right? Like everybody's different. I know that's not like answering your question, but like, yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's so much to learn in IT, and you're never going to learn all of it, but you'll start absorbing some of it. And some people will absorb things a lot quicker than others. So yeah, usually like, you know, in the first couple of years, 2 to 3 years, you should have like a very good like knowledge base at that point, for sure. 100%. Celtic, you've dabbled in tech for decades, enjoyed all, finally deciding the career change. Any advice on how to narrow your focus? Excuse me, sorry. So I always recommend people start off with the CompTIA A+ certification. And I say this for just many different reasons. There's just so much great, valuable, fundamental knowledge to learn on that certification. But if anything, like it introduces you to all these fundamental technologies. Like it introduces you to networking, it introduces you to scripting, to virtualization, to networking, cloud. I think even at this point, like it just at least like explaining it to you probably. But you start to like at least learn about these different technologies, and from there, like you can like as you're learning those fundamentals, you can start to like figure out like what interests you the most. So then you can start taking your research a bit further. Say like, you know, virtualization interests you. Well, you could take it a step further by downloading VirtualBox and actually virtualizing things, right? And virtualization kind of leads into the cloud, really. Like that's what it ultimately leads up to these days. So then like that might take your interest towards the cloud, right? Like this is just an example. But that can help you narrow your focus, but still ultimately like you need to have fundamental knowledge. And I think the A+ is one of those good starting points for sure. He's like, earlier when you mentioned advanced systems concepts, you just meant you have a hard time getting into Hyper-V, Veeam, etc. You just really like networking and voice over IP. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I hope my answer to you earlier helped you. You're currently trying to space out your certs with work experience so you don't look like a paper cert chaser. That's a great idea. Frank, you've been at a level 1 help desk job for a year now. What's the best way to ask for more money? You have those certifications. The best way to ask for more money is to write down, like, so you hopefully you have like a ticketing system, and you can write down like all the tickets that you've done over the last year. Write down all the projects that you've been a part of in the last year. Write down any key moment that you've had in that organization that's made a difference. Put all of that together into a nice little document, and then take that to your manager and say, hey, these are all of the wonderful things that I've done for the organization, and I would really like to seek more compensation. Please let me know what I need to do to take, my position to the next step. Right? Like, that's, I think, and to sum this up in as little words as possible for you, like, that's the best bit of advice that I can give you. Anybody else that's in this chat is more than welcome to add on to that. And I feel like you should. But I think that's a great starting point. Definitely highlighting the things that you've done, because you just need to show why. Like, that's always going to be the thing. Like, you can't just go up to your boss and be like, I want more money, right? Like, I deserve more money because X, Y, Z. I mean, I don't. Mom is trying to call me when I'm doing this. She's probably watching me right now. She could text me. Mom, you could text me. But yeah. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Gosh, what was I saying? Mom, to save the day, right? Yeah. So I was saying, you can't just go to your boss really and just say, hey, I want more money. You have to really just show why you deserve more money. Really, why do you deserve more money? And really highlight, this is why. And then highlight the things maybe even that you want to do. Like, going forward, like, these are some of the things that I would like to accomplish in this organization. And by, like, showing me that, like, you believe in me, like, it can help me accomplish these things sooner or quicker or better, right? Learn printers too. KevTech, get out, bro. And coffee making. Coffee making is a good one. I didn't drink coffee until I started working in IT. Let's see. Where is it at? He is right. You have to bring a business case for a raise, for sure. Connor, is CCNA and a year of IT hardware experience good enough to land a network engineer role nowadays, or do you need cloud, Python, or the CCNP realistically? I mean, when I think about like job titles and stuff like this, I don't know if other people do this or not. But when I think about job titles, like, it's always in my head, even though job titles are stupid, especially in IT. But it's like network administrator, right? You might have like a junior network administrator, and then you have a network administrator, and then you'll have like a network engineer, right? So like, for me, it's like, if you want to get into like networking, it's like you got to start looking at those lower positions first, right? Personal feelings, thoughts. But is it realistic that you can get a network engineer role? I mean, it's a possibility, but I don't know. David, I may have missed your question. Where is it at? You'll have to ask again, because I just may have missed it. My apologies. The Seattle Sideshow. So for us Tier 1 Help Desk peons, we should learn AD, Linux, and printers, and we are qualified for a junior systems admin role. Been T1 for 5 months, just want to level up. I mean, the Linux thing really depends on the environment. I worked literally, this is not a joke, at the point of 17 years working in IT before I ever touched a Linux box. 17 years working in IT before I ever touched a Linux box. That's much different nowadays because Linux is freaking everywhere. But like, it's really going to be very dependent on the environment, whether you need to know Linux. But as far as like things to learn, Active Directory, ticketing system, like PowerShell, group policy, those are all, fundamentals of networking for sure. Yeah. And like that's a good starting point, right? Like, and then to get to a junior sysadmin role, virtualization. Like, you need to understand virtualization, and even like now, like if your environment utilizes the cloud, then you need to start learning like whether it's Azure or AWS. Like, you need to start getting like making your way towards like learning those things. I'm sorry, my brain's going like 1,000 miles an hour right now because I'm thinking of all the different things. The next thing that you need to do is talk to your current sysadmins and ask them what you can do to help them. Ask them if there's any projects that you can be part of, or just ask them if you can shadow them. That's my advice. I'm sticking to it. You wake up on coffee? I wake up on coffee too. I'm drinking. This is coffee in here right now. And it's gone, clearly. Sorry. David, this is your question. What is the most valuable cert for a sysadmin in the cloud and no cloud related? So the most valuable certification for a sysadmin in the cloud is going to be probably like an AWS cert, just because Amazon's freaking everywhere. But I mean, Azure, there's a lot of great Azure shirts too. And not cloud related for a sysadmin, I mean, even still, like I don't know, Microsoft got rid of like all of their good certifications, I feel like, that are focused on sysadmins, because they're all cloud-based now. So probably the best non-cloud-based cert would be like the like what is the VMware certification? That would be the best one. Virtualization for sure. But yeah, let's see that. So Kev brings up a great point too. Like, you can learn Linux. Like, do you need to learn Linux? There's so many different possibilities to answers to questions. Yeah, learn Linux for fun. I wouldn't tell you not to learn Linux. I just don't know like how needed it is like in the current environment that you're in versus like where you're going. Linux is always like just a great fundamental thing to learn nowadays, just because it's everywhere and you're bound to run into it at some point. But as far as like priority, like I would make it a priority if your current organization uses Linux, or the organizations that you're looking to go to utilize Linux. Do I know the difference between Active Directory and Azure Active Directory? Yes, but do other people? Probably not. But that's a great question. Like, you should probably know the difference between Active Directory and Azure Active Directory, because I mean, there's a difference, right? As a sysadmin, everyone asks how I am, but no one ever asks how they can help. That's unfortunate, man. Like, anytime I worked in an IT environment where I had people who were above me, like, I was always asking to like be involved in projects. Like, what can I help you with? Like, oh, you're gonna program some ports on a switch? Please teach me how to do that. All the time. All the time. Even if they taught me like 6 times before, like I'd be like, hey, can I watch you do that again? Just because I want to make sure that like I have that down. Like, so repetitive. Like, it's probably so maybe annoying for some of them at times, just because like I would want to watch them do the dumbest stuff. But I'm like, I just want to know, like, let me like watch you do this, because it helps me learn. I wish more people would do that. User not found. You watched some of my videos recommending how to get your foot in the door of IT, took a job at a school district. Awesome. Fantastic place to start. Amazing schedule and time with your family. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad that worked out for you. That's awesome. Matthew, you're thinking about going into network security or cloud security. You're taking your A+ test soon. Where do you go from there? You have 2 years in the tech field already. Well, either towards some networking certifications or cloud certifications, and then probably some security certifications. Like you really just have to narrow your interest down, and like there's already like cloud security certs and network security certs, but like before that, like you have to have some fundamental knowledge. Cloud, I think, is much more cloud will be much more difficult than just networking. Super chats. Kyle Sessions. Bro, you don't have to super chats all the time. But thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. You have 1.5 years of help desk experience. If you follow my advice and went for CCNA, do you think you can go straight for net cloud engineer, or you should trying sysadmin before going for net cloud engineer? Well, network. So, like, is it network engineering that you want to go for, or is it cloud engineering that you want to go for? Right? Like, what is it that you really want to do? I mean, by saying like that you want to go for the CCNA, that would make me think that you want to go for network engineering, which is great. But if you want to go after cloud engineering, there's just so much more to learn on top of that. The point is, right? Being a sysadmin, if you want to, being a sysadmin first would help you for cloud engineering, right? Like if that's the path that you wanted to take, becoming a sysadmin is definitely going to be helpful towards getting towards the cloud. But if you want to be in networking, then yes, getting your CCNA is definitely going to be helpful for you. Getting into networking with your experience. I'm sorry. It's like, yeah, I hope that answers your question. And I was reading Kev's comment here because he thinks people misunderstand what working in the cloud really means. It's not some magical new thing, right? Yes. I hate to say that it's frustrating at this point. It's just because I have to answer that question over and over and over again, or talk about it over and over again. And then there's so many terrible people. Let's talk about boot camps for a minute, just because they're dumb and stupid, and I hate boot camps. But there's so many boot camps out there that are like, we're gonna teach you to be a cloud engineer, and like you don't have to have any experience. It's like, cool. Like, why? Come on. Like, no, don't do that. There's so much more to learn about the cloud. Like, yes, some people are going to be very successful. Don't get me wrong. But there are so many, there's just so many people out there that have like such a tremendous drive and grasp things like more than like other people do, and they can really accomplish it. And networking on the social side of things is just going to be huge for you. But anyway, yes. Why the hate on boot camps? Because they're ridiculously overpriced, and you shouldn't have to pay thousands of dollars to learn. I am a firm believer in affordable education. Like, I just think the whole thing on every level, on any education level, the amount of money that it costs to learn is just ridiculous. When something like YouTube exists, like, I'm gonna knock on your door. Hello, are you prepared for YouTube? Because that's legit, and you can learn freaking everything. Not to mention, like, you could sign up for something like TCM Security if you're looking to get into security. For $30 a month, you get access to all of our courses. You can go join IT Pro TV for like $38 a month with my coupon code and get access to thousands upon thousands of hours of courses for Microsoft, for Cisco, for CompTIA. Like, it's a complete joke. It is just like disgusting to me that there are organizations out there charging thousands of dollars, especially to new people working in IT. Thousands of dollars to get your foot in the door in IT. Like, it's not even a guarantee. Like, you go attend a boot camp and pay thousands of dollars, and there's no guarantee that you're going to work in IT. Like, literally no guarantee. It's just like any certification, though, still. Like, it's the same thing, but you're going to spend a lot less getting a certification. It doesn't guarantee you a job in IT, but it could help, right? It could definitely help. It's the same like with college, right? You hear all the time, like, people go to college and they don't get into the field that they studied for and that they spent all that money studying for, and they can't land a job. There's no guarantees in life. So for me, like, having a degree, though, like I will get on board with that much more so, and all day long, I will get on board with having a degree over a boot camp. A boot camp is a waste of money, and I'm sorry that like you're offended by that. I am completely brokenhearted that I fell. Whatever, I won't go. Whatever, just don't like. YouTube exists, IT Pro TV exists, CBT Nuggets exists, TCM Security exists, Test Out exists, Cyber exists, Pluralsight exists, all for less than $100 a month. Like, well, less than like $50 a month for most of those. You can get access to just all of this material for free. And if like the one thing that boot camp does for you and that college will do for you is accountability. And if you need accountability, I'm going to give you the best resource for free accountability: Discord. Go join KevTech IT Support's Discord. You will have all of the accountability support there that you could ever need for $3 for free. And these are all people in KevTech's IT Support Discord server that are trying to break into the field just like you, right? Go join the Job Skillshare Discord server. Join the TCM Security Discord server, right? Like, I am here to give you all of the advice and all of like I just want to help you guys. I really, truly, honestly just want to help each and every one of you the best that I possibly can. And I'm going to be brutally honest all the time. So I'm sorry. That's how I feel about boot camps. And I won't say any more about it unless you ask me about it. But I have a hatred for it. I have a hatred just for not like education being expensive. Like, and I say this not, it's from personal, but for my fiance, like, she's a physician assistant. She is over still at this point $157,000 in debt, right? Like, all of the money that she's paid for her like to learn so far, she's 9 years into it, has all gone to interest. She has not touched the principal, and she still owes over $100,000 in student loans. Like, that is just freaking ridiculous, right? And like, there's like medical people on YouTube right now, like, teaching you how to do this stuff. Like, affordable education, please, because it's just fantastic. What are my opinions on Perscalis? Is it a boot camp? Because then my opinion is just terrible. I just think a boot camp is worthless. Same here. They wanted $20K for the boot camp. Yeah. $20,000 for a boot camp? That's not affordable. Who can afford that? The only time I ever agree with a boot camp, ever, this is the only time you'll ever say, yes, go to that boot camp, is because your employer is paying for it. That's it. That is the only time I'll ever tell you, yeah, boot camp's legit. It's because you're not paying for it. Sorry. Truth hurts. I think Lizzo did a song on that. So if you need to hear that Lizzo song right now, I'll go run and join that, or join the Discord. I can't even talk right now. 3 different resources you can use: Job Skillshare Discord, KevTech Discord. What else? It's a free boot camp. Oh, if it's free, then for sure. Why not? Free is great. $3, you cannot beat $3. I mean, I don't know. I still don't know anything about it, so I can't say for sure. Like, yes, it's free. It's great. But Perscalis is not a boot camp. It's like job training. I would have to look into Perscalis. Justin Williams. Yes. Please do. Please do. Can somebody ban him from the chat, please? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. AW. Thanks to me and Kevin, you've been in IT for 6 months. Congratulations. That's awesome. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that we were able to help. KevTech is the man. I love it. He is such a valuable person in this field right now. Like, so good. Just take my money. What about for teacher pace training from the boot camp teachers? Like, what? Like, is it a boot camp and are we paying thousands of dollars for it? Like, that's it. Like, is literally my only question. That's all I care about, because I don't think that anybody should pay thousands of dollars to learn. Like, that's just like, that's a human right. Everybody should be able to learn. Like, sorry. That's the mountain or whatever the frick you want to say. Like, I will stand on that for as long as I live. You better watch out. Can I put a link to the Discord server? Can somebody put a link to the Discord server on LinkedIn, please? just so I can highlight that. Anybody who's on LinkedIn, link to the KevTech Discord server and Job Skill Discord server on LinkedIn. I'll appreciate it. That'd be awesome. Maybe I can highlight it for you. I'll highlight the Job Skill share. Here's Job Skill share Discord. Take a screenshot. Hurry up. Screenshot. Either do it on your phone, right? Like do one of those. Or hopefully you have like Green Shot installed. Super quick. Here's TCM Security Discord. That's a good one. And screenshot. Hurry. Here's KevTech's Discord. Got them all. Most remote jobs are just for programmers? No way. What? That's what a boot camp is? That's not like... You should see the result of boot camps, man. Like, it is so pitiful and sad and just disgusting. Thank you, David. Oh, look at you guys in the LinkedIn. I love you all. You're the best. Kev runs on Duncan. I love you. You're the man. You're VIP. MVP. Kev runs on Duncan. When are you coming on the channel, bro? We need to get you on the channel. Like, ASAP. Not ASAP. When you get time. We need to get you on. Do you guys hear these smooth jams or what? Do I have plans to come to Portugal? I don't have plans to leave the United States anytime soon, to be completely honest with you. That's no offense to anybody. I don't mean that in any type of offensive way. I just mean, like, I literally don't even want to leave my house half the time. So leaving the country, man, nope. Not for me. Leaving the state even. I don't even want to do that. We do have to do that. What is Job Skill Share? Job Skill Share is out on YouTube. I would go look up Job Skill Share out on the YouTubes right now. Is that Lizzo we are hearing now? No, Lizzo. How would that be offensive? I don't know. What did I say that was offensive? I don't know. I feel like everything that you say nowadays can be drawn like as offensive. Like somebody's going to be offended by everything. So it's just like, I really just want to make it clear, like at no point do I ever mean to offend anybody, or you would really know if I meant to offend you, because I would say it like very directly. And I would probably tell you at this point, now that I'm saying it, that was meant to offend you. So you would know, but you know, I just don't like to upset people. Like, you're offended that I made that generalization. I am screwed anyway I look at it. See? I cannot win. See, exactly. Just, you cannot win nowadays. Do I have plans to leave for Portugal? No. Thanks, Zach. Hard to decide what path to choose when all the paths interest you at least a little. Yeah, you just start somewhere, man. Like, that's why I always tell people work in help desk, and then you really just start to learn, you know? Like, work in any type of entry-level position. You'll start to pick up on things, and it'll be great. Answer, I don't even have plans to leave my porch. Yes, exactly. That is the answer. I don't want to leave. What are my thoughts about the blockchain? It's something that I have no interest in, quite honestly. I feel like it's a fascinating technology. It's something that I would like to take the time at some point to learn a little bit more about, but it's not something that like I'm like oogling over, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like a lot of people are. If that's you, that's great. It's a great technology to learn, that's for certain. This sounds like I'm listening to like Bob Marley or something. It's like a smooth jam. Smooth jam. Do I have my OSCP? I do not have my OSCP, and I do not have plans to ever get my OSCP. But I do have plans to get my PNPT. That certification is infinitely more valuable than the OSCP, in my humble opinion. I have to stress that very clearly. In my humble opinion, the PNPT is infinitely more valuable than OSCP. Now I'm going to wait for offensive security to be like, you can't say that. Sorry, not sorry. Lizzo deep cuts? Heck yeah, I would love to hear some Lizzo deep cuts. That would be pretty sick. Oh, ohms, whatever. Is it possible for someone with severe ADHD to work in this field? Yes. I wouldn't necessarily say I have severe ADHD, but I definitely have ADHD. It is pretty bad. But yes, 100%. Just take your meds, which I need to take my meds, speaking of. You down with the PNPT? Yeah, you know me. Oh, I love it. Antone, bro. You just made my creativity spark. You just made the creativity spark. So the cyber mentor said that the OSP will help you get the job, but the PNPT or the OSP will help you get the interview, but the PNPT will help you crush the interview. That's what the cyber mentor said, because that was gold, like 100% gold when he said that. The machine god, you've been thinking about the OSCP and PNPT. You're hoping PNPT would prep you for the OSCP. You know it's more expensive, sir, but it's a gatekeeper, 100% gatekeeper. I completely agree with you. And let's not even talk about the pricing, right? But anyway, in all reality, like they're two different certifications, because the OSCP is definitely more like capture the flag type of oriented, where the PNPT is very much like you're not capturing a gosh darn flag at all. Like it is very much practical, hands-on, tries to very much simulate exactly what you would experience doing a real penetration test in the real world. Also with the PNPT, like you could use whatever tools that you want. We have nothing, like we don't say like you can't use that tool, you can't use that tool. You could use whatever tool that you want, and you have 5 days to complete the assessment for the PNPT, where the OSCP you only have 24 hours. There is almost like there's no assessments out there where you have 24 hours. I'm sure like sometimes they probably exist for emergency based purposes, right? But otherwise, like 5 days to complete assessment, that's pretty normal, right? Then you have 2 days to complete the report, because after you do the assessment with the PNPT, then you have to write a report. Then when you write the report, you have to go through and actually talk one-on-one with Heath Adams and walk him through how you completed your PNPT. So when am I getting my PNPT? Well, if Heath didn't keep me so freaking busy, I would be working on my PNPT much more frequently. But Heath made, like, to be completely honest with you, I'm not going to go into too much details, but you can probably put the pieces together. Heath made me cry on Friday, just because of like how much he supports like what I do and how happy he is with like what I'm doing. So like me doing and accomplishing my job is the most important thing to me in the world right now. And seeing like just the success that TCM security has had since I've been there is just it is the literally like the most rewarding thing in my life, and it makes me want to cry right now even. But like he literally made me freaking cry last Friday. So me accomplishing my job to the best of the ability is the most important thing to me. I would love to get the PNPT like yesterday. I'm hoping that I can accomplish it by the end of this year. Would be like ideal. Like that would be amazing if I could do that. But also like there's so much that I want to accomplish just with TCM security, like with what we're doing. Like I'm working on a course right now. So like it's like one of those things. Like I really truly would love to do it. And I've gone through the practical ethical hacking course, like most of it, gone through pretty much all of the OSINT course. Like I'm making steps towards it, but I love my job. I cannot tell you enough how much I love my job. The best job I've ever had in my entire life, hands down. So yeah, anyway, sorry. I think eLearn Security or INE, they put out some good stuff. Quite honestly, they really do. So a lot of their certifications are really good. You'll hear a lot of people say that. Should you track your IT journey while in college? For sure. Would I ever switch careers and leave IT? I mean, I kind of feel like I did. Like, oh, there's somebody from Twitch. Cool. Ahoy. What's up? What's up, Twitchers? Sorry. I just had to give you a shout out because you're probably the only person watching on Twitch right now. Would I ever switch careers and leave IT? Like, I truly, honestly struggle with this on an almost daily basis because I feel like in some ways, like, I've left IT in some ways. Like, I don't get as hands-on with things as I do. And that's where, like, I lab all the time. And, like, I literally just upgraded the RAM on my computer, like, my main, like, rig, which I upgraded the RAM and the video card and the process, like, all within the last year, which cost me an arm and a leg just so I could do my job better. But anyway, the point is, like, I upgraded. So now I have, like, 48 gigs of RAM that I'm going to throw in another machine so that I have just a powerhouse for my virtual nonsense, because, like, I just love to screw around and learn stuff. Like, Docker has been something that I've been playing with lately, and I'm super excited about it, right? Like, I just love to sit down and learn things. So while I feel like I'm not directly in IT anymore, like, I guess my job is very much like, it is IT. Like, it's so hard. That's so hard. Tax write-off, 100% tax write-off. That RAM was so expensive. That made me want to cry, for sure. Zach's crushing it at getting us your PNPT, so we can't expect him to get his right now. Yeah. I'm trying to get as many people to get their PNPT as I possibly can, for sure. And it's getting recognized. Like, we're getting on job applications all the time. And we're getting recognized by big companies, which is just even more phenomenal. Like, just to have, like, you can see on the website, right? Like, the companies that we've worked with, it's just, like, phenomenal. We're talking, like, government agencies. We're talking the Facebooks, the FANGs, right? Like, it's just amazing. Like, I love it. INE Josh Mason, for sure. I can't even talk. Cool. You have a question. Is there a good entry-level cert that's not CompTIA related? To learn the same stuff? Like, I guess I would have to say the Google IT support certification, although I would never say that. If you had more of a specific area of interest, I could probably help you out, but, like, just general related, the CompTIA A+, sorry, I feel like I chipped my tooth or something. It feels really weird. Sorry. Yeah, CompTIA A+ is, like, it just unfortunately is one of the better certifications for learning fundamentals. Sorry. I mean, there's like a Cisco cert. There's ITIL maybe, but man, in 4 years, do I think PNPT would be better than OSCP? In 4 years? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I really do. I think, like, yeah, I do. Everything that we're doing and seeing what we're doing, yes, I do. I think we're going to be very much better, if not, like, literally contending head on head, for sure. We got some exciting things coming, man. Like, it's just so exciting. Just do that DoD thing, please. Yeah, I'd love to do the DoD thing, for sure. Computer repair is a part of IT and is a good foundation to have. Yes, somebody asked a question about computer repair and IT. It is a great foundation to have. You're an on-site tech and you want to move out of that. What would I recommend? Well, what interests you? What areas of IT interest you the most outside of what you're doing now? Is there a specific area where you're like, ooh, that looks cool, I want to do that? Daniel, come on, for real? You want to talk about... Can I talk a little about the downsides of boot camps? Did you miss my rant about boot camps just like 10 minutes ago? You must have. You attended one and you feel like you didn't fully get your money's worth. Had to teach yourself CCNA for months after graduating before you successfully certified. Yeah, you're not the only one. Boot camps are just ridiculously overpriced and ridiculous. I feel bad for everybody who's ever attended a boot camp, especially the ones who've not had success. Because there's a lot more people who have gone through a boot camp who have not been successful than people who have gone through a boot camp and been successful, right? Like, so many more people have been unsuccessful by attending a boot camp. You went to Lizzo's boot camp and now you're 100%. Yep. Sorry. Lizzo's boot camp is the best because the truth does hurt. Is there a way to run a boot camp without screwing the attendees? You make it somehow affordable? Otherwise, no. Like, I don't know. I mean, I could see, like, what really has to happen with, like, a boot camp, like, ideally, like, if you want to talk about, like, an ideal boot camp, is, like, a boot camp would affiliate or partner with a hiring agency, like a recruiting agency. That's what I'm looking for. Sorry. And then you would have to really, like, qualify your clientele, like your boot camp students. Like, you would really have to filter them out, because what you would really want to do to make a boot camp the most effective is to really, like, because this is how they're all, like, this is how they always, like, make it seem to be like, this boot camp is going to get you a job. Well, like, this is how you do it. Like, you do a boot camp that teaches you all of these great and amazing things, and you have, like, a recruiting firm that does everything under their willpower to get you the freaking job. But your boot camp really has to be, like, it has to be a great foundational, like, learning tool for somebody. It has to have that ability to walk somebody through step by step of what they're going to expect in the real world and be able to place these students into a job. Like, that would be ideal, right? That's like one way. I don't know, like, but otherwise, like, affordable, right? So many things about boot camps. I did a great thing on LinkedIn about boot camps just recently. I would watch that. Anyway, I actually did not pay attention to the time, unfortunately. And I have to go. Sorry, y'all. But thank you, everybody, for joining this wonderful, amazing live stream tonight. I really appreciate you all. I'm sorry I was not able to get to all of your questions, but for those of you who I was able to reach, I hope whatever I said to you was helpful. Thanks for the rant, bro. You missed the rant. Like, I totally went off on the rant. Boot camps are dumb. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Cool. Thank you for tuning in for your first time. Appreciate that. Stephen Amador, I'm leaving. It's goodbye for me. So, hello and goodbye, Stephen Amador. It's good to see you. I think you completed a video for me, and it's in Trello, and I still haven't watched it. Every time I think about you, I think that I need to watch that video, but something happens, so I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Take it easy. Keep learning.